All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember, you can find all of our content on our partners over at wafb.com/Jordy. We want to thank Matt McMahon for coming through here, as that conversation was brought to you by Dead Socks. He just hooked up our next two guests with a pair of Dead Soxy socks from our friends over at Dead Socks. You can find them at deadsoxy.com. Use the promo code Jordy. Save yourself up to 35% over there, whether it is custom design socks or some dress socks that you can see right there in the sock drawer. But we just hooked up our next two guests. Really been looking forward to getting the boys in here. Obviously, Jack Mashburn, the look, the tight end with the cowboy collar, the former high school quarterback, or our own Evan Francioni, a good-looking paisan here, a special teams specialist. As Stewie is trying to find them on camera, there they are. Looking great, heading into fall camp, boys. It is great to see you in studio this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us.
Thank you guys, man. Really happy to be here.
Absolutely. You guys have a similar story in the sense you both walked on, you both earned scholarships. Jack, let's start with you. Take me through your experience of just getting to where you are now, of being an instrumental part in the LSU offense after it's starting so unknown for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, actually both of our first days were the first day of fall camp, the 2019 year. So we came in the exact same day. And then really, like, whenever I got there, we were probably 11 deep at tight end. And I was 11. So, I mean, it wasn't looking too good at that point. And then, I mean, obviously through that year was awesome just to experience all that and everything. And the next year I was moved to receiver. So I was a receiver for my whole sophomore year, just kind of filling a role, kind of filling an empty spot. And then for last year, I was moved back to tight end during the spring. We were pretty thin. There was a couple of us, and then went through the summer, went through the spring, and then kind of slowly started getting more and more reps throughout the fall. Mm-hmm. And then kind of just found a place where I felt like I was contributing and felt like I had a good role on the team.
Yeah. When you initially went to LSU, did you think you were going to be a quarterback? Tell me the story of you playing quarterback in high. Everybody usually puts their best athlete at quarterback. That's usually how people figure out. Were you a natural quarterback, or were you just like one of the top athletes?
Well, kind of growing up, I was like running back, linebacker. Okay. 8th grade, I was quarterback, and then
right. So just give him the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. And then coming, I honestly didn't know if I was going to be quarterback or tight end. I knew I was going to be one of the two, but I really didn't know until a couple of days before camp started. Because I was talking to Coach McMahon about like my walk-on position, and I was asking him, like, do you think I'm going to be quarterback or tight end? And he was like, I'm not really sure. Like, we'll kind of see when you get here. And then whenever I got there, I think the quarterback room was full, so they just kind of fit me in at tight end.
Yeah. Evan, how about for you? You were a baseball player coming out of high school out of Rummel,
right.
And you initially played in college, but then wound up back at LSU. How did you end up here today? What's your story?
So in high school, I went to school with Jamar Chase. We started in our freshman year together, and obviously went through, so we were captains together. And obviously the amount of attention he was getting in high school would draw. You can imagine the amount of college coaches that were at practice. Sure. So I started to establish a relationship with Coach Mickey Joseph. So I decided to play baseball out of high school. And then following that summer, I was not saying that I was unsatisfied, but I kind of wanted more. Yeah. I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted to become the best version of myself. And talked with my family, and was like, the only place to do that in Louisiana is at LSU. So I started talking to Coach Mickey and was like, look, I'm transferring to LSU no matter what. I want to play ball, and he welcomed the opportunity. And like he said, our first day was that first practice of fall camp, and got there. Just again, like he was referring to, worked our way through the ranks. Played in 5 games that first season in 2019 on teams, and then obviously through the years my role has increased. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. No, I remember initially like people being like, "Who's 88?" I'd be like, "He's got a great name. I don't know who he is. He's got a great name." But I mean, like you that has to be I mean, for a walk-on player to get in and play as early on as you did, that to me, when I dove into it more and saw what, damn, he's a walk-on. You come, that's a mindset, right?
So,
like, I mean, you
100%.
weren't coming in here to get the gear.
No. So the fact that whether you're paid to be there or not, it really, of course, it matters. It's great to be, essentially paid for what you do, but it doesn't matter because again, it was like I'm not being paid, but I'm playing.
Yeah.
So it was again like that's not the goal. Wasn't to receive a scholarship. Of course, it was a result of all of the work, but initially it was I want to play, and then obviously the ultimate goal is offensive stuff. So I've been 100% grateful for all the things that I've earned and that the coaches have rewarded me with. But it's definitely, like you said, a mindset. Yeah.
Did both of y'all expect to get scholarships?
I would say, after, a certain point, we were kind of like,
hoping for it.
Yeah.
But
really.
Not necessarily expecting it.
Right.
Yeah. Take me through last year for you, because at one point it was almost like you were the center part of what they were trying to do. Wherever you were such a key to what they were doing, especially the Florida game with the rushing record that Ty Davis Price set was obviously you were so instrumental in that day. But what was last year like for you?
Yeah, last year was a great experience. Going into the season, I didn't know what role I would play, but kind of going up to that Florida game, I got a little more playing time in the week before in the Kentucky game, and so I was getting more reps that week with the ones and everything. And I've always taken great pride in my blocking because, try to obviously do what you can to make the play happen. But really, just that Florida game, everything kind of clicked for the entire offense, for everybody, and it was really awesome just to kind of see it all kind of mesh together. And then kind of just throughout the rest of the season, it felt like we were kind of clicking on offense a little bit more, bit. We still obviously have work to do all the time, but no, it really just felt good to kind of be a part of it for once.
Yeah.
And be in it.
For sure, man. And then, Evan, for you on special teams has been such a bright spot for LSU football, whether they were winning championships or whether they were down the last 2 years. What has the experience along Greg McMahon? Because I believe you played in all 13 games last season from a specialist standpoint.
Yep.
What was the evolution development for you? How much do you owe Greg McMahon? What did he mean to you in that part of it?
Coach Greg, Coach Mack, he meant everything. The opportunity that he awarded me has allowed me to be, to enter the role that I have, and I hope to continue. I can't say enough about him, honestly. He was all about reliability, accountability. So, giving, said player a role, the opportunity. It's like at that point, it's on the player, obviously, to take it and run with it. And I can say that I did, and I can't thank him enough.
Yeah. All right, Jack, what was it like during this transition? What was the transition in coaching like? Take me through the whole thing, even when you guys didn't know who the coach was going to be, and there was a lame duck coach walking the halls. What were those days like up until the point where Brian Kelly was announced?
Yeah, whenever they announced that Coach O was going to be fired after the season, I think everybody was kind of a little bit confused and skeptical about what was going to happen in the future because, we still had almost half a season left.
Yeah.
And we had no idea what was going to happen, who was going to be our coach. So, we were all at that point playing for ourselves, playing for Coach O, playing for the old coaching staff because we knew they were going to be going after that season. So, we tried to finish out the season strong. And then once Coach Kelly got here and all the new staff, they've all done a great job.
Yeah.
They all, from the first day, just hardcore on accountability, being there, being where you need to be all the time, and having consequences if you're not.
Yeah.
So which has been great because it's really gotten some people in line, and I feel like everybody's bought in 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for what we're going to do this year. I think we're going to shock some people.
One of the biggest things that stood out to me was the transfer portal was on fire for everybody else. You guys were bringing in transfer. Nobody was transferring out once he got here. I thought that was a testament of what kind of was going on behind the walls. That was stuff we couldn't see, but it was telling you that good stuff was happening. What was that transition like for you, Evan?
So following the bowl game, again, there was a lot of question marks. And once we finally figured it out, everyone was open-minded and open-hearted to the transition. And then all the coaches that he brought in, I honestly think that the staff that Coach Kelly put together is the best staff possible for getting LSU back to where it's always been and where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So up until this point, I think everything's gone great, and I can't wait for obviously the biggest part of the year, which is fall camp. Of us, continuing where we left off at in the spring, and obviously transitioning in September 4th.
You mentioned you played high school football with Jamar Chase.
Yes.
How talented is your room right now?
That's part of the reason. Again, like I said, for transferring to LSU is becoming the best version of myself, and in the room consistently each year, like I am surrounded by the absolute best.
Yeah.
So that has done nothing but make me better. I'd also like to say that I contribute a lot of things to the room as well.
Yeah.
But just year in and year out, the talent room, obviously, in LSU's wide receiver room is, every coach that I've been in that room with has said, this room is more talented than some of the NFL wide receiver rooms, and they believe that wholeheartedly, and it is obviously shown in games and practices. And
you saw Jamar playing at a high level. What's the comparison between him and Kayshawn? How close of a big time player are they?
Again, they're leaders off the field, but just on the field, just leading by example. You can tell that both of them, obviously, kind of two similar skill sets, but different games in a way. But again, Jamar was given 7. Obviously, Kayshawn's going to be able to wear 7. That, again, 7 is a personality. 7 is a character on the field, and both of them obviously embody that. And the work in practice, out of practice, in the weight room, it's always consistent. Both of them are tremendous contributors to LSU, and obviously Kayshawn wearing it this season, I can't wait to see all the things he'll do.
What was spring like for you with meeting new offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock and then learning that he was your position coach?
Yeah, it was awesome because, I knew of Coach Denbrock from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Because they were always, the last couple of years, have been at the top. So, we were really excited whenever we found out he was going to be our new coach. So he's been great. We're with him all the time in the meetings and everything. So he's put in a new scheme that I think is going to work really well for everybody on the offense, and I'm really excited to see how we do with it. But throughout the spring, everybody was buying in. Everybody was getting the offense down pretty well, and I'm sure we still have some more stuff to put in. But everybody seemed to be getting the hang of it and really liking the new packages and everything.
He sat right in that chair a couple of weeks back and said that the quarterback competition at LSU is the best in the country. You guys went through spring with that group. What'd you make of them?
They're, from top to bottom, incredible. All of them. Like, you can almost not even tell a difference. I would honestly say what he said, that we probably have the best quarterback room in the country. It really is. You can't tell a difference between who's going with the 1s, 2s, 3s, whoever. Like, they all fit in with the 1s. It's pretty incredible to see.
What do you make of that competition?
Yeah, all 4 of them, but you can win with all 4 of them. Through the spring, like he said, it was neck and neck. At least no forefront guy that you can tell from, like, once the spring was finished, really hard to tell, like, okay, it's this guy, it's this guy.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to these next, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks of who's, got it locked in the best and who they can trust for, obviously, September 4th. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, certain, whether it's this one guy, but then, like, some packages or some special stuff with this one, or if I'm not sure how they'll take it, but
sure. From the off season, all we kept hearing about was the SWAT teams and what that did to the team aspect of what you guys were building. How did you guys? What was that experience like? So
Jack was the SWAT team captain initially in the spring. I was announced as a SWAT captain this summer. What it does is it puts the SWAT team captains in a player of leadership and kind of coaching in a way. It forces the players to take accountability for their brothers and their teammates. It was an interesting concept. I don't think we have had been experienced to it before. That's something that they brought over from the other place. But I think it has done nothing but we would have to do questionnaires, each day, our supplement checks, being on time. It would just, thinking of it as, okay, well, that's the coach's job to remind the players what to do. It would then be from like group texts, hey, this is what we have to do today. We're just switching kind of whose role it was to be responsible for the guys.
Yeah, what was your experience like with it?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Like even if a guy on your team is late to a lift, they'll get on you. If you're the like SWAT team leader, they'll get on you for him being late. Like, why didn't you call him? Why didn't you go wake him up? Why didn't you it really does give a sense of coaching on as a player. So I mean, from top to bottom, literally, they have a standard board. If you're under the standard, they'll put you in red, way below. So if you miss a tutoring, if you're late to a tutoring, if you anything with school related, supplement check, meal check, weights, anything, you'll get points deducted if you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. So I mean, it really keeps everybody in check, and it's up there for the team to see.
Yeah.
So everybody can see who's not following, who is.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it really helps.
What has that transition been like of meshing all of the new faces into the locker room?
Yeah, that's definitely, like you said earlier, the amount of guys that we've gotten from the transfer portal. First of all of them have come in with a great attitude and the mindset of, similar to what Jack said, of just buying in. Obviously, we started in the spring of becoming one team, and that's something that through the summer we've obviously built off of, and what we have to continue to do. It doesn't stop, obviously, through this camp. But I mean, we have obviously the young guys that we had playing last year obviously are now older, and then we got these incredible transfers that are ready to go. So that combination of talent is just something that I think is going to propel us forward.
You guys were in all seasons with both Tommy Moffitt, who was such a staple of LSU football and really kind of the institution. I mean, he went beyond LSU football to now Jake Flint, which we've heard some really cool stuff of the way that he is approaching the all-season program. What's the difference, and what was this summer like?
I mean, this summer was great. I couldn't do all of it because I had a back injury, so I couldn't do a lot of the running stuff. I couldn't do Olympic lifting or anything, so I didn't get to fully experience it. But I mean, from what I've seen, I feel like everybody's done a great job and went well with it. And I think he's pretty much put us in a great position to really succeed and keep us fresh. So he's not killing us too hard, but he's doing enough to where we get working and still are obviously in top shape.
Yeah.
So I think he's done a great job for everything that I've done so far.
Can you explain how resourceful a college football program is, from the nutrition to the health to the academic side to the football development side of what you guys have access to every day in development?
Yeah. Being a college athlete, especially at LSU, is a blessing. Nutrition-wise, the amount of things that we have at almost every turn and corner in the facility is obviously, it's plentiful, from fruit, obviously, to our performance snacks and our protein shakes, and then the nutrition center, with the smoothies and stuff, and then obviously our cafeteria is obviously loaded. Chef Mike does a great job, and then academically, I don't want to say that there's no excuse, but there really isn't. The Miss Culotta and her staff do a great job. And then just obviously the network, the connection network that you make just from obviously just LSU, you can't really find it anywhere else.
What's up with the neck roll, bro? How many times did you get asked about it?
A decent amount.
I bet.
But no, it's just
such a great look. I mean, it is such a old school, you can't find it anymore look. What is the story behind it?
I mean, it's not by choice. It's
really?
Yeah, I mean, my brother had it all through high school because so he started the neck roll, a little tradition in the Mashburn family. But no, I mean, he had stinger problems in high school, and then really last year during spring I started having stinger problems, just in my neck, and then kind of throughout fall camp got worse and worse. So they started off with a small one, got it a little bigger, and then just gradually got to the full neck roll. But no, I mean, it has helped. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't by choice.
But now you can't play anyway.
But no, I mean, I like it now. It's grown on me.
Yeah.
It's definitely grown on me a little bit. But no, I like it.
But I just say this, and I've been saying this to the staffers that have come through here, and we had a chance to talk to all the assistants. I'd imagine that putting together a college football staff is a very difficult task because you're dealing with a lot of alphas, a lot of people that feel like, you know what I mean, like they're the biggest dude in the room. It seems like all of these guys like one another.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're a bunch of good dudes, which is probably hard to do in the process of building it. For somebody that's under that leadership, what do you guys see from the staff? We'll start with you first, Evan.
So I think the way that Coach Kelly runs his program is that he empowers his, the staff that he employs to do what they see fit, obviously based off of his idea and his image of the team. And I think that, similar to your point, they're kind of bouncing things off each other and learning from each other because, again, this is also their first time that they're together. So the environment is, of optimism and promise with the guys that we have. I think I think we're fortunate to be able to have, the 2019 staff and the staffs that have followed. But I think it's also really cool that we get to have a year with the guys that are new.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How much are you two specifically looking forward to that Sunday opener in the Dome in front of? I mean, Evan, you're going back to the city. Right. And you're going, probably 30 minutes from your front door in Covington. Yeah. How cool of the experience is that going to be?
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be unreal. Because, 2019 we were in the Dome, but we didn't play.
Sure.
Like, we were there. We went into the game knowing we weren't playing, so we just got to kind of enjoy the whole thing.
Yeah.
But, this year it's going to be different. It's going to be surreal because, apparently, are they sold out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, it's going to be –
Florida State sold out there a lot.
Yeah, no, I saw that part. So I'm assuming
LSU's going to be there.
I'm assuming our part's sold out. Right. But no, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be, everybody we know, all of our friends, family, all the fans. It's going to be awesome.
Who's got the best Burrows story?
Best Burrows story.
Oh man, y'all probably had a pretty good point of view. Like,
yeah,
you knew you weren't playing, so you kind of had like the best tickets in the house, right? Was there something in practice? Was there something along the way in the summer where you said, "Fellas, we might be different with this dude"?
I'd have to say, first of all, just about that guy. Like, he would, before practice, we'd play catch, and again for him, being the Heisman guy, he paid mine to, first year guy like me. Like he was a friend. So obviously I really admired that a lot about him. And then we were talking about this the other day. We were in Atlanta and we were in the middle of practice. I think it was like a Thursday practice or something. We were doing a red zone walkthrough, and then all of a sudden a bunch of media guys came out. They set the media time at the wrong time, and he completely shut everything down. Got everybody huddled up, and him and Joe Brady just literally talked through the entire period. Because obviously, they didn't want to show any of the stuff, but he was just like, what are we doing? What's going on? And we all hold it up, so all the media is trying to take pictures and figure out what we're doing, but we're just huddled up talking. It was funny.
Right. How good was 19? How good was that team? You've played on a lot of football teams.
Yeah, no, that was even going into the season, just in camp. I'd never been around college football, so I was like, these guys are pretty good. I was just thinking that was the normal. I was like, these guys are pretty good. I think we're going to be good.
Right.
Obviously, I didn't know we were going to be that good.
Right.
But no, it was ridiculous. Especially now to see that what they're doing in the NFL.
Yeah.
How good they really were.
Yeah.
It's pretty nuts.
Right.
We had obviously number 1 overall pick, 2 first rounders. Terrace could have been a first rounder.
Yeah.
All at receiver, and then.
But how many picks did we have that year? 18 or 16?
15. It was 15 or 16.
15,
picks.
and then Jamar got drafted later.
And then they got 4 undrafted free agents.
So it's you're almost all 22.
Right.
Literally got picked up. It's you can't. That will never. I really don't think that'll really be done again.
No, I don't think so either.
Mm-hmm.
I just it was a perfect storm.
Yeah.
And especially to see their production in the NFL, I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah.
Especially anytime soon.
Fellas, great to meet y'all.
Yes, sir.
Great to see you guys the other night. Appreciate y'all coming in here.
I appreciate you having us.
Sharing just a couple of minutes with us, man. It's been fun to get to know some of the staff and some of the players, and man, I know that there's a lot of people excited to watch you play this year. And you can feel, I was at SEC Media Days a couple of weeks back, expectation, and I know that you guys have your own expectation within the walls, and you don't care what the media is saying, but people are starting to recognize that, hey, LSU's not the Texas Bowl LSU team that you saw play against Kansas State. These cats are they wear the name well on the side of the helmet. So best of luck this season. Yeah,
thank you.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Jack Mashburn and Evan Francioni stopping by, a couple of walk-ons turned scholarship players at LSU. Man, giving us some insight of the locker room, off season, and going into year one under Brian Kelly. We'll be back and close it out here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.